I'm sure in the grill, Janet Manganiello was doing a lot of this. Icy Light. The great Mr. Rooney. I think about him often when I look at this Rooney's beer. And yes, I love the Irish. And I love Jameson. Come on, folks. You deserve a shot. Are you ready? All right, now listen. This is what we're going to talk about. Greg Diolis, who was at Shadow Lakes earlier. How did you and my producer Bambino do? Come on.
I'll tell you what, we had one heck of a grudge match today, Rob, but we had a great time. The course is in fantastic shape. The greens were rolling tremendously. Unfortunately, I got into a sand trap or two, but they were well manicured. The course was just awesome. If any of our listeners or viewers get a chance to get out there and play that golf course, man, it's just in awesome shape. Very much country club type atmosphere there.
And by the way, just down the road, a great AAA East Central location, the English family for years. And of course, this Saturday, 11 to noon and noon to 1, 2 hours of AAA East Central. We talked about this on the radio Sunday, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. So let me ask you, for the radio audience, a guy who loves the beach as much as I do, if you could have your choice of any beach vacation where you could play a little golf, courtesy of AAA East Central, Greg Diolis, where would it be?
Oh, I'm going to St. Pete Beach, just outside of Tampa, Florida, Rob. I absolutely love that place down there. There's a Trade Winds Hotel resort place and some really good golf courses down there. That would be position 1A for me at St. Pete Beach.
I'll be at Broadway Wharf here in East Liverpool along the mighty Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, with sand between my toes. All right, let's talk about the NFL Players Association. Just trending. DeMaurice Smith, the executive director, said they're almost certain that a lockout or strike will happen in 2021. So what's the beef?
Well, the problem is, now you got to remember, D. Smith is a fantastic lawyer, tremendous labor attorney. That's his background, and he doesn't do anything without rattling the saber a little bit. So he's going to give you that position no matter what. But what the Players Association is mostly upset with is the amount of power that they kind of handed over in the most current collective bargaining agreement that's being wielded by Commissioner Goodell. When he imposes a fine or a suspension upon a player, he's the judge and the executioner, because basically he hands out those suspensions and then it comes back to him in the event a player wants to appeal it. So you're appealing to a guy who's already given his decision, so you really are going to end up with that as part of your problem. The other problem that the players are really getting to them is that the players really thought that they took advantage of the owners in 2008. And the problem was they started barking too much about it and bragging about it. And then when the shoe got handed back to them in 2013, the owners really got them back and got them good. The players were so desperate at that juncture they couldn't get themselves to a holdout, so they had to eat a very restrictive collective bargaining agreement. So there's a lot of work to be done in order to get this thing back to where everybody's happy. And the fact that you lost Gene Upshaw from the Players Association years ago, there's a lot of people that don't feel like DeMaurice Smith is the right guy to be there. Now, his tenure is tied to the end of that collective bargaining agreement. So whether or not he's going to be able to hold on to that is another question mark that will arise. All
right, now let's get down to the business of hand. Steelers.com today, a couple of things. Roethlisberger says he likes what he sees in Martavius Bryant. He says his offseason work has paid off. He was listed as a starter along with Antonio Brown at the wideout positions on their depth charts. Hines Ward also tootling him and a few others. So kind of fill in the blanks. Him being back, some of your early observations, and how much does Hines Ward bring that true grit to the table to teach this young man how to play in the National Football League?
Well, Hines Ward, I don't know that anybody is going to be as good of a blocking receiver as Hines Ward is or was. But for him to be able to teach a little bit of that, and really it does, you use the word grit, and that was really what was the most important thing with Hines, is his willingness to just go out there and play at that level and really hit as hard as he was willing to do with a smaller frame that he had. That was really something special. It's harder to get these guys nowadays. Martavis Bryant, who's kind of longer and leaner, his body's not going to hold up to those types of things. But his body better hold up, because it looked like, at least from some of the reports today, unless you heard some more recent ones, that Juju Smith-Schuster might have got banged up a little bit. That could be a little bit of a long-term deal with the knee.
All right, now I want to talk about LeVeon Bell. No injury, but still waiting and wondering. Let's talk about causing rotations. Is that a good thing, having a lot more people getting their hands on the football and him not getting his hands on the football that much?
I think it is. I think especially in the early part of the season, because he has broken down by the time that seasons have been ending. So I think it's more important for them to have a little bit of a rotation, have a guy like a Connor who can spell him a little bit for the early part of the season so that you do have fresh legs for those last 8 games. I don't necessarily think that a holdout would be bad for LeVeon Bell, just like the suspension of a year or so ago really didn't hurt too badly with him because he was able to come in with fresh legs. And a fresh LeVeon Bell at the end of the regular season will be invaluable to the Steelers.
Greg Diola's Vantage Management Group, also part of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. And this week, Ted Arnaud talking the NFL. Disc Institute of Pittsburgh Newsline at 12:30. Bruce Tanner on the Pirates at 11:30. And, of course, Bob Dvorak, the author of that great book, Drive On, also with us in studio. A couple of other things real quick. Alex Smith, Kansas City, his future, now that they've picked up Patrick Mahomes, his agent said he's got a lot of commodities still out on the open market if that would come to, well, fruition. So what about his future in Kansas City? And he's been pretty rock solid for Coach Reed.
Well, I'm not so sure that I agree with you saying that he's been pretty rock solid. You know, I've got Travis Kelce there, and I think Travis Kelce, although he made a Pro Bowl and has made all those strides, I think with a more quality quarterback, he would be just astronomically valued. So I think Alex has really cost the Chiefs and Travis a chance to win a Super Bowl so far. He's a nice enough fellow, but really, I don't think he's an elite NFL quarterback, and Mahomes could be that guy to get him there. So I like his agent talking a little bit of extra garbage there, but I think it's going to be hard for the Chiefs to get to that Super Bowl level unless they get something different or a much higher level of performance from Alex Smith.
Mitch Trubisky on staying focused when you know the coach, John Fox, wants big things out of you in Chicago. Can the young man carry that kind of pressure on his shoulders, Greg?
I like Mitch. You know, we saw him with the Panthers last year really convert 3 4th and longs in a drive that ended up beating Pitt, and he really showed a lot of heart, a lot of talent, and a lot of intuitiveness with that, along with a pretty darn good arm. So I do like Mitchell Trubisky. I think that kid's going to be a really good NFL quarterback.
Okay, 2 more real quick. Jay Cutler in Miami, I love it. Sammy Watkins turning heads and could actually make Jared Goff a great quarterback in the future for the LA Rams. Jay Cutler, Sammy Watkins, and then we'll say goodnight.
You got a couple of guys there that are kind of retreads, right, Rob? I mean, Cutler's been around the block a little bit, but, you know, could really help Miami because obviously with losing their starter, they needed to turn to a veteran player, a guy who's coming out of the broadcast booth to come out and try to help them out and salvage the season. And then with Sammy Watkins, you know, with Buffalo letting him go, he really didn't fill the bill of a number one that he could have been. But maybe he does make Jared Goff a much better performer because Goff has a lot of catching up to do because everybody thinks that, you know, he didn't live up to what he should have and that Carson Wentz kind of took over that possible, you know, the leading of that quarterback class from that year.
All right, stay well, my brother. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, I tell you what, one thing you didn't mention, Rob, one of the best hot dogs I've ever had was in Mags' grill room today.
There you go. Hey, don't say I never told you where to eat a good hot dog, along with the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. I got to tell everybody this. The commemorative cup, the next one is Tony Dorsett, will be out shortly. But right now, as we salute Shell, the Royal Dutch Company, of course, billions of invested dollars, thousands of union workers, they have got a cup to salute them at a Brighton Hot Dog Shop near you. It's all in the family. Good night from Legacy Studios in East Liverpool, Ohio. So long, everybody.